This week on The Grind, Bill and Tim meet up with Rick Darling in North Dakota for early season mallards.
I yearn for a place to call my own. I'm going home. Say what you will, I'll be better for it still. I've been wondering what you're doing with your time, just to get you off my mind. I'm in the grind.
The Grind Waterfowl TV is brought to you by Dakota Decoys, premium gunning decoys for demanding hunters. Lucky Duck, masters of deception. Rio, official ammunition of The Grind. Share the experience. Mud Buddy, the king of mud motors. Excel, the boat to own. Cornerstone Gun Dog Academy, the world's most accessible online retriever training program. High Mountain Seasonings, handcrafted jerky, seasonings, and meat processing tools. Lifetime Decoys, premium decoy rigging equipment. Sitka Gear, turning clothing into gear. Alps Outdoors, exceed your expectations. And these fine sponsors.
Well, we are back in Leeds, North Dakota with North Country Guide Service. Rick and Blake Darling made this really our annual stateside start for each season, and we are in a wheat field this morning. Big spread of honker decoys out, then we'll have a bunch of full body mallards and a bunch of lucky HDs. Ducks will probably come early, we're hoping, and then maybe we'll get a few honkers too, but we're pretty pumped. It's our reunion with Max from Southern Oak Kennels, and we didn't have Max last year on the show, but got him back this year. He's been with me 2 months now, hasn't left my side, so pretty mellow dog, but I tell you what, he's a different dog this morning. He's like a kid before Christmas, and he knows something's going on too. So this is my first hunt of the year. I'm ready to roll, getting set up here for some mallards and honkers in North Dakota. Hit him, Rick. Heel, heel, heel. Max. Our first morning here, we set up in a low-cut wheat field, and it was a cloudy gray day. There were tons of ducks.
Look, cover back up, cover back up. Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Rick? Take him. Max. But we had basically no cover. I mean, it was a low-cut field. We didn't even have any really weed lines or anything to hide in. So tough conditions when you got gray skies. The birds pick you out. You know, they aren't looking, there's no shadows. They're looking right down at the blinds. Good boy. Leave it. Good boy. Good boy. And picking us out. They're picking us out. Get him, Rick?
Yep.
Get him.
Optimal conditions vary depending on where you are in the country. Some places rely on cloud cover for ducks to hit the fields during legal shooting hours, but more often than not, sun and wind are king in the Dakotas. Hiding layouts in a wheat field is tough enough, but that hide is about impossible with clouds and cameras. We had a decent hunt that first day, but watching ducks pick you out all morning certainly leaves a bitter taste in your mouth.
If you think it takes you, an hour to set up your spread, get to the field an hour and a half earlier. Spend that extra half an hour brushing up your blinds. I mean, you can be on the X with as many birds as you want, thousands of birds, but if you're not concealed, you're gonna watch them birds bounce off them blinds all morning long.
Is it Drake? You on that, Drake? Max. Well, we're winding up here in the first morning in North Dakota with Rick and Blake Darling, North Country Guide Service. And we woke up this morning to a kind of a stiff northwest breeze, no sun, no stars. We knew it might be a tough morning. We were in a wheat field and we really had very little cover. So we tried to do the best we could covering the blinds. It's hard. And then with no shadows, no sun, it's not a good mix. So we scrapped out some ducks. We're gonna regroup here, get picked up, do some scouting. Probably not do an afternoon hunt, just find a good morning hunt. Feed the troops here, regroup, get after it again tomorrow.
They will be clean with all the blood out of them. Should be darn clean.
That afternoon, we cooked some duck, hit the road scouting, and only found one feed. But it looked pretty amazing. Probably 4,000 to 5,000 ducks flying a mile or so from the roost. It was another wheat field, but we had sun in the forecast with hay bales to help our hide. Conditions were right for a pretty fun morning.
Good morning.
When you're daydreaming at work on a cold front day, chances are your mind drifts to a place like North Dakota. If you grew up around waterfowling, you grew up seeing paintings of this dreamy place with mallard-filled potholes dotting the landscape, these stunning sunrises, and big wads of ducks decoying. Even when the birds win, you can't help but feel awe-inspired by this place. So you keep scouting and you keep hunting until it all comes together.
Oh man. This is gonna be good. I'm stoked. I love seeing ducks like this right away.
You got, clear skies, you got a full moon, birds are all late, and then initially in the morning you got that big wad that comes out early on. They're in the field, half an hour before shooting time, and then it seems like they go back to the roost, and you're thinking, oh, the hunt is done, they're not gonna show up. It seems like on them cold, clear days and there's not a lot of wind, you get that trickle effect coming back out. So you're probably not gonna have them bunches of, 30 to 50 birds coming out. You'll have them, the smaller. You'll get the singles, the doubles, and bunches, 10, 15 birds at a crack. You just gotta be patient and they're gonna come.
Max. That was cool. That was cool. One really nice drake. Killers over here.
Well, we're set up in this field here where we got a ton of birds working us this morning at first light, or even before first light. There were thousands of ducks around. And we've been getting small flocks to come in. The larger flocks aren't coming down, but we're getting 1s and 2s and some 5s and 6s to come in and getting some good shots at them. And we've just been kind of methodical throughout the morning of knocking a few down, and we're having a really good day so far. So it's been a lot of fun.
Hey guys, I'm Barton Ramsey with Cornerstone Gundog Academy, and this is a retriever training quick tip.
So today I want to talk to you about how to get the most out of every training session. Before you go out and train, get a plan and stick with it. I like to pick 2 to 4 things that I think I need to work on with my dog, and that's what I'm going to base my plan around. And I also like to layer each training session with obedience. Start off the session with obedience, you do your first skill, then you add obedience right after your first skill, and so on until the very end of the session when you want to end on obedience. When you first start off the session, choose something that you know your dog's really proficient at and that it can do an awesome job at, and then do that first. So that's going to start off the session on a good note, and you and your dog are going to be ready to move on to the next thing and teach them something brand new. Now if your dog's already trained and you're just still working your dog and trying to keep it proficient, work on something that your dog's struggling with on the second skill. On the third skill, you want to move to something that your dog is good at, but you just want to extend it out, maybe extend the distance that you're training. And then on the last skill, you want to always end on a good note. And so finish with something that your dog is really good at. Be sure to take notes and evaluate how you did through the day. With Cornerstone, we have a lesson planner that'll help you do this and make sure you can keep track of all of your training sessions.
We're on day 2 here in North Dakota with North Country Guide Service, Rick and Blake Darling, and lots of ducks in the air. We got a little bit of a north wind, which is really tough when you have sun. So this morning, before the sun came up, there were ducks everywhere. It wasn't shooting time yet, but it was cool to watch. But now the sun's up, we're filming right into the sun, which is a bugger. And we're picking away at the ducks. They're finicky, it's tough. We're looking into the sun, they're looking at us.
This morning we saw thousands and thousands of ducks working this field, getting up, flying around right as the sun was starting to rise a little bit on the horizon. It was just beautiful. And we thought to ourselves, this is going to be awesome. And the first few volleys we had work and it was nice, and then all of a sudden it just stopped. And we were like, uh-oh, what are we going to do? We had a good, half hour, 45 minutes of just kind of quiet time. We're like, I hope this comes back around. And it did. About 8:30, all of a sudden it picked back up, and we had, 20, 30, 40 birds working, and we'd pull 5 or 6 of them down and get onesies and twosies, and we ended up with a limited ducks day. It was awesome.
Yep. We're gonna go get some food, do a little scouting, and get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow is our last day in North Dakota.
We have our duck from this morning. We're gonna make some jalapeno poppers, we call them, tonight, and it's simply duck breast, jalapenos, cream cheese, and bacon. Wrap them in bacon, put them on the grill. They're delicious. But first we're going to marinate them with a little bit of the zesty western marinade from High Mountain. It's good stuff. I've used this on chicken before, duck, other waterfowl. So it's a really nice marinade. And we'll marinate it for an hour or two and then make our poppers tonight. When you're away from home, sometimes you improvise. So we're just going off of what we think is about 4 tablespoons of oil and a tablespoon of vinegar. This is apple cider vinegar because that's all we have. Then we'll slice our duck breasts up in strips. Put the duck breasts in the bowl, pour this over them, and get them in a plastic bag and let them sit for an hour or two.
After scouting that second night, we found that we really did only have the one feed as an option. The cooler weather was behind schedule, along with the migration. With the exception of this field, the bird numbers just weren't there yet. So we were headed back to the same field with little or no wind to hunt birds that had their fill of dinner the night before during the full moon.
This year was a little tough up here. It's early season, we know we're hunting local birds. Sometimes they can get a little stale, but there were so many birds around this year, which was really great to see. It's just, I think part of the struggle this year was we had a couple low wind days, which never helps. And then waiting on the sun to get out and no wind was really caused some issues.
We come here regardless of the hunting. We've just become good friends. The cut-up comedy that goes on, he's got incredible lodging. The company is fun. Rick is a blast to be around, and the guy knows how to kill birds.
Good shot.
So he's got the run of the land here, and if there's birds in the county, he finds the ducks and geese. And he's just become a great friend. Just shout out to Rick and Blake for putting up with all of us, and we know it's not easy. We appreciate it, and this guy kills birds. North Country Guide Service.
North Dakota is my favorite place to hunt. I've been coming here for many years with family and friends, and I just really enjoy hunting this area. This year was a little tough up here. It's early season, we know we're hunting local birds. There were so many birds around this year, which was really great to see. 3 great days, fun days of hunting. Shot birds, shot a limit one day, shot decent numbers the other 2 days. So it's still a great time to come out, hunt, and really enjoy being out in the outdoors and duck hunting.
Next week on The Grind, Bill and Tim meet up with the High Mountain Seasonings team for early season mallards in central Wyoming.